Okay, so we have Hemant Madaan with us. He's a founder and CEO of ODS Solutions. He's been in this industry for 23 years. He is one of the AI 75 innovators. So please welcome Hemant. He has something great to talk about.
Thank you, guys.
This is next.
You guys can hear me?
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. First of all, thank you everybody to have me. I know it's a little out of what you guys were listening earlier. Congratulations to all the people in the cohort. This was really nice. I love speaking to entrepreneurs, something which I've been doing for the past 20 years. Working and reworking on the company which I have built, and I've also helped other people also build the company. So to start with, I would just like to pick up the topic first on why this is so important. Today's world, I believe, and I love the way the things are going and where we are today. It's so easy, in my words, to build the products today. It was so difficult when I started. It was not just you had to hire programmers or learn programming, although I was lucky enough to be good in programming, but I still did not think of building a product at that time when I started 23 years back. So it's easier to become a founder as what it used to be earlier. It has now become more difficult to become an operator than becoming a founder. So I think it becomes more important for us to talk today on how to become an operator from a founder. That means, how do you scale up after building your MVP or your first release, as we call it? So leading beyond the MVP, where are we going to lead from here? So just a few nuggets from my side out of my 23 years of experience that I bring, my humble experience. Would love to speak with you guys and take it from there. So before we get into that, I would love to learn the room. And I had a question. How many of you are first-time entrepreneurs? If you can raise your hands, please. Okay. How many of you know to code? Good. All right. How many of you do not know to code, but they are still building a product? Okay. Good. That's what was not there when I started 23 years back. So that's awesome. Thank you. Good news is it's easy to build the product. What's the bad news?
Distribution. Scaling.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sales.
I've worked with over 200 founders and entrepreneurs in the past 20 years. One theme keeps on repeating again and again. People raise money for development. They raise money to build the product. But as Jassi was telling you earlier, the hard part is to scale. Hard part is the distribution. That's where you need the money, not building. Building has become actually much easier. And believe it or not, 85% of the companies will not exist, probably after a year. So I'm not trying to scare you guys, but that's the hard reality. I myself have launched probably 3 products, out of which 2 failed, and I'm proud to say they failed and there's nothing wrong in that. I was able to launch them. It was very difficult as an entrepreneur to detach myself from those products, but I had to when it was needed. So on this topic, why me? What are my credentials? Why exactly do you want to listen from me? So a bit about me. As Yashika just said, I got honor of AI 75 this year. I think Dan was before, I think 25, 24, I believe. Yeah, so he's the OG, if I may. So I've been an entrepreneur, operator, technologist, dad of 2, a girl and a boy. Got company which is 5 offices, 75 plus employees. Got 3 active brands, 2 failed products. One of them very similar to a community product that somebody just pitched. It was called Sodality. Pitched that to nonprofits for 4 years, tried my best, different working models, did not work out, closed that. And it's very tough when I did that. But I just wanted to bring it up. It is tough to just let your baby go, and that's how it felt. So from OTS, which I started 23 years back, people ask me, why did you even start? It all started one day when I went to my dad and said, you know what, Dad, give me around some whatever money in Indian rupees. I was in India at that time. I asked him, okay, can you give me some money? I want to start a cyber cafe. I don't know how many people you remember cyber cafes. Yeah, I wanted to start that in 11th grade, guys. And I'm so lucky and so blessed that my dad said no. Because that is what created that rebel out of me. And out of that rebel, after working for a couple of years, I started my first company, which was OTS Solutions in India, in Delhi. And from there, I launched that in 2002, grew that to small room, took around $1,000 of a loan. Technically, I never gave back to my dad, but I did take it. Started that company, two of my friends along with me, they were employees, not my partners at that time. My dad was like dead against it. I'm giving you money, you're not gonna have any partners. Okay, old school, I did start like that. Grew that from 2 employees to 100 employees till 2015. That's when I realized that I'm hitting a ceiling, and I moved to US, to New Jersey, New York area. Stayed there for 3 years, realized New York is awesome, by the way, as Dan suggested. Some amazing startups I've worked from there. I think I would highly recommend if you want to raise money, learn how to raise money, Silicon Valley and New York, amazing. But it's too cold. So I come from Delhi. It was a very different environment for us. I had a small baby, 30 days old when I got him from India. 2018, I moved to Dallas, and since then now I call Dallas my home. Pretty much love it. From there I formed 2 brands, JumpGrowth, which is into a product engineering firm, which what we do is we help entrepreneurs who have ideas and money to build the products for them. So as I said, right now, with the evolution of AI, that's actually killing my business because people can now build the products. And that is where we are changing as well. And from there, I launched a second brand of mine called AptaCloud. Both of them are service brands. JumpGrowth is focused towards product engineering and staffing services, and AptaCloud is all about AI consulting, AI solutions, and AI execution. We are a Microsoft partner. We help larger businesses over there. So far, I've had the pleasure of working with over 500 customers, all the way from smaller startups like Lone Mantra, Gunlocks, which is a Dallas-based startup, Wowtimer, which is a Dallas-based startup. I work with them, and then all the way to Jeffries, which is a large, I'm not sure how many people know, they're a bank, merchant bank based out of New York. Work with them. I'm now working with Protective Life Insurance, Lincoln Life Insurance, CBRE, McKesson, some of the large names as well. So I've got some experience that I would love to share with you. My recent and the latest product that I've launched is called AptaBook, which is 24/7 AI receptionist. As I also evolve with my life, I learned that I need to productize my services. So AptaCloud was selling a lot of AI solutions, custom AI solutions, but then for how long? So we launched AptaBook as a product, and it's being sold to small and medium businesses. What it does is it's a multimodal AI receptionist for small businesses, 24/7 agents across voice, chat, text, WhatsApp, email. All this done without taking any money from VC or PEs. And I just wanted to say that that is not the only funding option for you guys. Think of that. All right, what I think this I don't really need to cover much. I think all of you guys have been through an AI cohort. You know it's easier to build. Build time is absolutely reduced. Technical barrier has reduced pretty much. Anybody, I speak to 5 or 6 founders, entrepreneurs in 2 weeks, pretty much every 2 weeks, and all of them tell the same story that they can build the product themselves. Absolutely. What's the major difference which has not changed is the distribution. It has actually become even more harder. You can build products very easily, but are you able to sell them? Are you able to distribute them? I launched AptaBook 2 months back, and so far I've got 5 customers. My break even on that would be 100. And it's difficult. That's the toughest job that an entrepreneur has to do, guys, not building anymore. And trust and judgment. Why would somebody buy it from you? That's the biggest question you should always ask. Believe it or not, the same idea that you've got, 100 people probably got the same idea at the same time as you. So you have to, and now with AI, I've seen so many AI wrappers floating around, AI ideas floating around where it's nothing but an AI model or as I call it, as a cloud-based brain to be just pulled in the background and just throw out some output. Sad story, guys, that those kind of products will not go very long. You need to have, the moat is changed. The product is no longer a moat. What the moat is now is your ability to sell, your ability to distribute, how you're going to integrate, what exactly are you building. And I just want to quote Steve Jobs. I think I was a big fan. I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. It's not easy. It is not going to be easy. If you have to be in this game, think of long term. Just don't think of quick exit. Only 2% maybe get a quick exit. Maybe. So please think of that. Your MVP is not the company, guys. If you build the MVP, that's a tiny portion of your journey. Your MVP definitely proves that you can build, but it says nothing about whether anyone will actually pay for your product. The point is, have you really tried selling it? Ideas are cheap. I think everybody has covered that point. I would really not like to go into that, but the MVP can just prove execution. It doesn't prove demand. What you need to do is for the next 120 days, go pitch, talk to your customers. Customers are the king. And start as soon as possible. If I was you, if I had to do it again, I would build it in the night or whatever extra hours in the night, and in the day, all I would do is just go to the customers, speak to them, show them what you've built, take that feedback. That's how you're going to grow. That is the only way. And you might not even need a VC for that. That's where it is all going to be mattering in the end. All right, I've been asked many times, why did you start a company? Why did you become an entrepreneur? And believe it or not, when I think back when I started, I'm still not able to answer that question. I think when I think back, I believe, and I have said this so many times to people, when somebody asks me, okay, why did you start? I was mad. That's the one sentence that can actually frame your frame of mind. That's the only reason, like Samir said, it's all about your passion when you start as a founder. But then what really values, how do you actually sustain with years? Because believe it or not, it's tough. You don't know how many times have I struggled with managing salaries of 70, 100 people. You have to think, you have to struggle, you have to just go in, and that's what makes you that transition from being a founder to an operator. I don't want to call it, but being an entrepreneur or from an entrepreneur to a businessman. I was taught the lesson, and I would probably like to share a story. I was delivering a project in somebody for Dubai, and I was there for 2 months. And I was there myself. I had a team, they built it. I went. Partial reason was I wanted to visit a new country, but then I went there, I was there with the client, and the client told me one thing which just changed my whole mindset from there. He said, if you are here delivering, then who is really operating your company? That changed my whole mindset. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And that's where you slowly transform yourself from a founder to an operator. That's what comes after your MVP. That's what comes after your first 10, 50, 100 customers. Your passion goes into managing, growing, and it becomes monotonous. You have to have that discipline. Yes, you will start with passion. Yes, you will have new ideas every day. Yes, you will have to struggle, but those ideas and that passion will transform into how to manage, how to grow. I still have those 3 a.m. wake ups. How will I manage it? How can I move from 100 to 200? Because I'm into people business, and as we all know, jobs are fading away with AI. So I have to charge for the time of my employees, and that's going to grow down, I know, and then I have to reinvent. So that innovator and doer is a good way to start, but then slowly as you move forward, you have to start focusing on scaling and stability. That's where it's going to change. Start new businesses is good, but then eventually you have to build the stakeholder valuation. Yes, investors will come in, the VCs will come in, they will give you the money. But then what's next? How are you going to return that money is a key part. And while doing that, you build your equity and all the good stuff. We all look for that 100 million exit and make some cash. How many of you have heard of people who have not been able to do it? We all only listen to the people who have made it. People who have not made it, believe it or not, there are many. I've worked with so many entrepreneurs, great ideas, build products for them. Many times they make the same mistake. They only focus on building the product. They could never understand the value of scaling. They could never become an operator. They were always a founder. So that's a mindset shift I would like to mention over here. It's a slide, I can read it. You guys can also read it, but I think path from here. You guys have done the cohort, learned how to build a product. Awesome. Where do you go from here? Simple 4 steps. You vibed or you coded MVP. That part is done. What from here? Have you really gone in front of 20 people and asked, hey, this is my product? Or just you give a great idea, to someone. You call somebody saying that, do you have that? Man, I love that idea. I'm going to implement that. It's awesome. Do that. You need that. If you're, be ready. Afterbook, I sold it to a chamber of commerce some time back. It's a very low value product or low cost product. The chamber lady came yesterday to me saying, hey, I have some feedback for you. I got goosebumps. I was like, I don't know what she's going to say. And then for the whole morning, I was preparing myself. Maybe she's going to blast. She's my first paying customer. I didn't want to lose her. Trust me. I was ready to give her a whole year of free. And then she was like, you know what? I love the product, but there's only one small thing. I'm not able to download what I want to download in one go. I was like, man, thank you. You just saved me. But it's all about speaking to the customer. That's what I mean to say. You will be, and be prepared for it. Be prepared for getting bashed by the customer if they have to. And be ready for that failure. It's easier to fail and it's easier to reinvent and rebuild. That's what I always say. I have been not building but also rebuilding my company in the past 23 years. So pick 1 or 2 distribution or sales channels, very important. Run it for the 30 days on a small budget. You need to have budget for sure. Double down on what works and be objective about it. Don't try to find reasons. Hey, can I make it work? If it's not working, it's not working. I changed for Sodality, which failed product of mine. I changed that revenue model 5 times, selling into communities. Later I learned non-profits do not have money. They don't want to give money. And it was not pricey product, it was just $50 a month. They could not give the money. And I learned it. I had to let it go. It's like just letting your baby go, but I had to. And that's where I think the value is. That's where I believe when I say that now it's so easy. I can fail fast. Now I can build a product. Now that lady gave me the feature to implement today. I vibe coded it within an hour, launched it, told her it's ready, and she was happy. That's the change of value. That's the change of ecosystem that we are living in. It's amazing. It's amazing times, I must say. Distribution channels. I think I just want to cover this because it's a very important topic to cover and we can go in length. There's one thing which I can tell you guys, 23 years of experience. It is always going to be inventing and reinventing. One channel might work for you for a year, 2 years, 3 years. After 3rd year, that might stop working for you. And then you have to again go back onto the whiteboard, find out which channel works for you. Yes, there will be some channels which will, like for example, we used to get a lot of business for our product engineering services from paid ads. People stopped searching on Google last year. I lost half my leads from there. And outbound was already gone. It's a real problem. And I'm still like messing around my head, what would I do? And how should I get new customers? So I think, distribution channels, it's all bookish stuff, but I can talk to you about the SEO, AEO. It is becoming more and more important. People have stopped searching on Google anymore. You have to find out ways to write good content which can get indexed on your LLMs, get there. And I was very pleasantly surprised. We got a couple of inquiries recently from, and when I asked, okay, what was the source? They said that we got you from N&M. And that really made my day. So I think your channel picking is going to be more hit and try, but you have to start doing that right now. As soon as your product is ready, start doing some experiments on selling and choosing the distribution channel. It's never done. You will always have to invent and reinvent, as I said. Community-led, partnership integrations, a lot of ways to do it. You can do that easily now. Different playbooks, again, I think it's Justy's wheelhouse, but I would just pick it up, B2B versus B2C. Channels are different, very, very different. You have to be a little more patient if you're building a B2B product. B2B takes its own sweet time, and average deal sales cycle in B2B enterprises used to be, for me, 3 months. Now it has become 8 months. Market is unstable, people are not spending that much of money, they're not investing, it's a little difficult. So if you are into a B2B game, be patient. I think do not lose your heart. It will take easily 6 to 12 months to even get the first customer. So you have to stay there. And sometimes doing nothing is also strategy. And that's the hardest thing to say. I have been running business, and last year I think like every other consulting company, we saw a little bit of dip. And I went back to my team and I said, guys, it's a time where we do not do anything. Let's just play it out. Things are changing. The whole market is shifting. You need to find out what to do. But you still need to kind of keep on doing things. Channel, B2C, again, you need some budget because you need to go B2C in there. Do what works and what does not work for you. This is my favorite slide. When do I choose which company of mine I need to scale and how? I follow a 3C test. Now, people say customer is the king. Some people say cash is the king. For me, I say capacity is also a big factor. And that capacity is not just about your money that you have, or it's not just, the customer feedback. It's about what's your own personal capacity to do that. Everybody, and a lot of Samir said that entrepreneurs are a lone bunch. We are. We don't have a lot of people to speak to. And that's where my personal capacity tells me whether I can take on one more product or not, whether I can invest my time into that or not. Do I have the energy to actually spend? Will my kids support me in that? I mean, these are questions, and probably for the youngsters here, they're not that big of a question, but it will slowly start becoming. So 3 C's, always have these 3 C's in check. Do you have enough cash? Always keep 6 months easy in your bank that you would need to run your runway. Easy, 6 to 12 months. My advice is try to keep 8 months. That's what I always do. Customers, they are the kings. Do not build anything that your customer does not want. Plain and simple. It took me 4 years for my last failed product. You guys can take a call, in 3 months now, because you can build another product. Go try something new. All it takes is your own time, right? You can build it. Please do it. So things which are very important: achieve the growth as soon as possible, lower down your cost, recurring impact. Cash and funding, as I said, VC and PEs, they are great people, but you will lose your own equity in there. Keep that in mind. Your equity is gold, guys. And I know this has been told on Shark Tank, whatever. It's great raising money. You definitely need money for scaling, but then there are other avenues also. Don't just look only for VC, PE money. There are grants that can help you. There are city grants, trust me. I think McKinney has a good grant. And I'm nothing against VC, they're amazing people, but you have to understand when you need that money, or what stage are you in at that time. Can you wait, can you hold, can you build a product, raise it to a level where you have some paying customers, and then you bring on a VC? I think the VCs will value more that thing instead of you raising the money in a pre-seed mode. So think on that. Right investment is equally very, very important. Now imagine you've built a product, you have got first 5 customers, 10 customers. What's the next step you do? I'll tell you, replace yourself. Because by then you've already worn too many hats. By then you've become a marketeer, you've become a salesperson, you've become a product manager, you've become a product engineer, whatever. Now is the time when you've got to that point, you have to scale. And when you have to scale, you need more people like you. I remember there was a mentor in India I used to go and talk to, and he was much bigger company than me, and he came to me one day, he said, you know what, Hemant, how many Hemants have you produced in your team? That was a ticking moment for me, and that's when I knew that I have to build the company not on the basis of few engineers, but more leaders like me who have the same passion, who have the same thought process. So it's so important for you to build a company on the basis of your replacements. If your company cannot exist while you are vacationing in Cancun, you have not built a company. It's the hard fact. And I was very happy the first day when I went to Goa in India, and my managers were able to run the company without me. And that's when I knew, okay, I've built something now. So yes, you will take time to reach there, but people, they are the most important asset and the most important thing. I know AI is going to change a lot of things, jobs will change, but people will still be people. They are still your most important asset. Probably you would not require 10 engineers, but those 2 engineers which you would require to look after your AI agents while they're coding, they are your gold asset. Don't leave them, don't lose them, invest in them. Tools and innovation, it's a very important question in these days, build or buy. Everybody's saying SaaS is killed, people will be building their own tools. Yes, some of them they will, but they would still be options of buying as well. And while you build products, think on that. Somebody mentioned about integrating with EMR. I think Tally, right? You mentioned about EMR. Have you spoken to EMR people?
Yeah, I've worked in healthcare for a few years
Cool.
now.
Now then you know how difficult it is. I built 3 products in healthcare and man, it's tough. You don't want to build an EMR, but when you go and integrate with these guys, they will not give you the API access. It was tough. So know your market and choose very wisely when you have to build your own API or do you have to just integrate with somebody. Don't try to shoot for the stars. When things are already available, don't try to reinvent every wheel in the market. And then from there, while the company is operating, start measuring your success, and that is the most important thing. You have a goal post, you are reaching there or you're going there, you know the direction, but you have to keep reaching the milestones, and those milestones will be achieved through this framework. Start by measuring. First, start by setting goals of the year. From the yearly goals, start your quarterly goals. From the quarterly goals, then you measure every week basis, are you on track for those goals or not? Religiously, my leadership team and me, we sit on Monday morning, 7 a.m., do our weekly meeting. Whatever goals we have set, whatever KPIs we have set for the team, we check. We make sure we are reaching there. You probably would not do it maybe for the first 5 hires, but as soon as you hit that 5 hires, 5 people in your company, start doing that. Very important. That's what's going to really make you scale and a scalable company. And that's going to be the next mode. Because building product, as I said, is going to be easy. VCs are going to look at that. What is your real value? What kind of people do you have? Last slide. I know it was a long talk, sorry guys. I just wanted to cover, it's my favorite quote from a book, Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. Life is struggle. I believe that within that quote lies the most important lesson in entrepreneurship. Embrace the struggle. You will face this every day of your life. If you have that passion, you want to have that perseverance, be ready for that struggle. Life is struggle for an entrepreneur. You ask my wife, she divorces me every month. She had to live with it. I don't know, but I don't know how she does it. I am so grateful, but that's the reality. As Samir said, it's lonely. So only if you are ready for that journey, be ready and do that, okay? And last, I didn't want to discourage you guys by all the things that I said. I just wanted to leave you with this, that building a company, building a business is a long sprint, long game. It's not really just one sprint or two sprints. It's not the game of checkers. It's like a 3D chess. Have you seen a 3D chess where you can play like this? So there's always a move. Do not worry. If you are there, stay calm. Things will happen. They will happen. I have numerous scars and stories of my life which I can share, but I always found a way. And when I can, I'm sure you guys are much smarter than me. And on that note, thank you guys. I would still take any questions if somebody has.